Welcome to Trek Trav. I'm Trav, and this is the new Next Generation Star Trek Lower Decks final episode. And I'm not going to do a story review for this one, but there is going to be spoilers, so make sure that you've watched the episode. Like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like it. I want to go into this saying that Lower Decks has been the most consistently good series of Star Trek in the newest generation. Like, consistently, every episode is good. This episode it didn't really feel super like a finale. We get them obviously going to fix the big rip in the universe. Boimler's freaking out, and we get Rutherford is suddenly sick of working on the Cerritos because the technology's too old. We get a lot of sort of nice little character moments, very much sort of front and center, seeing that T'Ana and Tendi are working in the science position. Boimler is on the front console, so is Mariner. We get to see Captain Freeman. We get to see all of our characters get like a tiny little moment. And I really enjoyed, I think that this is probably a strong ending to the storyline of the season, which is obviously the temporal anomalies, or the anomalies to the multiverse. It was a fun to see the focus on sort of everyone, and having the Klingons turn up. I can't remember their names, but the two Klingons turn up who were the wine people was really, really fun. Having the citation observations turn up again was really, really fun. Having Mariner sort of admit that she's grown and she's changed and she's enjoying being sort of more senior. Let's just go into the characters. So Boimler has his full beard finally. He looks magnificent. Even Mariner admits that he looks good with his beard and it suits him. He finally gets rid of the red pad because he doesn't want to be completely like the other Boimler from the parallel universe, from the multiverse. We get that growth for him, that he's sort of accepting to be himself. He's also brave. He also gets into it. The friendship of the four central characters is integral in this episode. I feel like it's very much highlighted. Mariner, going into sort of her growth over the season, we've seen a lot of growth with her, and in this episode she sort of gets pointed out that she's much more mature. She enjoys hounding the really lower deckers, and that's really good. I enjoy that Mariner finally got a little bit of growth. In terms of Rutherford hating the Cerritos, it seemed a little bit out of left field. Like, all of a sudden, like, he had a few issues before, but this was like, I'm sick of this ship, it's too old, da-da-da. And he comes to the realization that it's not actually the ship that's the problem, it's the cyborg implants, and by the end of the episode, he gets rid of the cyborg implants and looks super handsome. And then we see that he has a crush on Tendi, which you know what? Yeah, I'm okay with that because they were very in sync. Like, you're sort of just waiting for those two characters to get together. Him sort of being the engineer and going in and working as just himself was really fantastic. I think overall his character has been super enjoyable. His positivity towards engineering and science is sort of the same with Tendi, who we'll move on to next. Tendi, although Tendi didn't have as much growth as maybe the other characters, she did allow us to learn more about the Orions as a people. And I think that's probably her best contribution to Lower Decks. Like, I don't think we would ever have learned this much about the Orions without Tendi. I think her character's positivity and her heart, she's the heart of the group of four people. Like, she loves them all deeply. We do see sort of a resurgence of her and her, I want to say, competitiveness with T'Lyn in the joint science operation, but then it gets this cool little anime moment where they're like, we're science friends, and then they go for it. And I loved that. I thought that was really, really cute. And I think sort of setting that aside was really good. I think Ransom does really well here. He obviously didn't grow as much. He's not a central character, but I loved the line for him going to warp, which is in engage the core. And I'm like, that is literally the only line he would use. Like, that is perfect for him. Captain Freeman getting sort of her captainage and sort of relying on, and she sort of, they have this interesting thing where Ransom and Freeman say that you guys are my best crew to Boimler and Mariner when they're convincing them to go and fix this anomaly. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, it seems a little bit like it's come out of nowhere, but I think I like it, and I like the fact that they sort of recognize that, oh my God, we've grown in this way, we're sort of trusted now. And I think Lower Decks overall, like we get to see Miglamoo, Billups, we get to see Shax, we get to see like all of our favorite characters turn up in this episode, and each one has a really great moment. And the saddest thing for me is that I really think that this is one of the best Star Treks we've had. Certainly, and as I said at the beginning, the most consistently good Star Trek we've had. Sure, not every episode was laugh out loud funny, not every episode had sort of a huge plot, but what it did allow us to have is sort of a bunch of flawed characters. And Mike McMahon says this on the Ready Room episode, go watch that, it's not just our primary four that are Lower Decks. The Cerritos is a lower level ship. The crew of the Cerritos, the main crew, are sort of a lower level in Starfleet. Like, it's a really big sort of, these are the people who make everything possible for all of our bigger Star Trek shows. I think that's fantastic. I think Lower Decks overall has given us some of the best Trek we've seen in years, some of the best references we've seen in years. Some moments genuinely made me laugh out loud. I will mention it a million times. Boimler with his leg spread in one of the episodes, and then also the Mugatu mating scene, which was freaking hilarious. And if you'd asked me, I want to say 20 years ago, whether I would laugh at a Star Trek joke, because to be honest, the TNG era didn't do humor very well, I would say no. But this generation of Star Trek, and particularly Lower Decks, has managed to put humor and sort of some brevity. And I think having the characters be sort of flawed, but at the same time, they're younger characters. They're trying their best and they're trying to find their way within Starfleet, was a genius move. This episode overall, we didn't get any huge, there was no Prodigy turning up. There's no Will Wheaton. There was no sort of others really until the very end. We get some excellent effects. I loved seeing the Cerritos change from ship to ship to ship. I wish, and we did get a brief glimpse at the beginning of the Klingons on one ship turning into the Discovery Klingons, and I thought that was really weird. Although, does that imply that Discovery's in a different universe? Who knows? But overall, it was a fantastic finale. There's a really nice and sort of heartfelt speech at the end. Mariner talks about how she handled her mother leaving with maturity. And then I'm sitting there, that's the way Mariner would handle it. And then she talks about how she set a fire in her quarters and kicked a computer. And so we get this amazing sort of thing. Boimler and Mariner become co-first officers next to Ransom becoming the captain. And it's genuinely, I think also with Lower Decks, it's the one Star Trek show in this generation of Star Trek shows that everyone sort of agrees, unless you don't like animation, which there's people like that, but everyone agrees has been the most fun, has been the most enjoyable Trek show. I don't think anyone has a huge problem with Lower Decks. And I think it's that attention to detail to canon and the references, and it's a very, if you like Star Trek, you'll really enjoy this show. And I genuinely am sad that the show has ended. And I'm genuinely sort of going, I want to see like a TV movie, or I want to see like just something with this Lower Decks crew back. Even like Tawny Newsom's comedy show, just make it Lower Decks in live action. Really fantastic, and I'm genuinely sad for the series to end. Now, I will be watching this episode with Ribbit on the weekend, and we will do a talk about Lower Decks. So make sure to subscribe and like and comment so this video gets everywhere and we can talk about it. Make sure to come back to Trek Trav. Have a great morning, night, wherever you are. Live long and prosper, and goodbye to Lower Decks.